blockbuster fight. D-Day for MVA versus Mahayuti.
इस उत्सव में सहभागी होना चाहिए, सभी ने वोट करना चाहिए, क्योंकि ये महाराष्ट्र को शक्तिशाली बनाएगा.
मी सर्व मतदारांना आवाहन करेन की आपण जरूर मतदान करा.
A star-studded voting day.
Please vote, and if you haven't, the place is open till 8 p.m.
बस आज यही है कि सब लोग आएं, वोट करें.
भारी संख्या में, भारी मात्रा में बाहर आकर वोट करें.
Maha difficult to predict. Maharashtra cha Raja Kaun? Top focus on 5 Live.
Very good evening, viewers. I'm Preeti Chaudhary. Our rolling coverage. It's D-Day where Maharashtra is concerned. Also, Jharkhand 38 seats polling in the second phase. We're going to get you the latest that is coming in terms of all the politics as well as how much has Maharashtra voted. All right, our top focus is the state of Maharashtra, viewers. It is the big prize, a high-stakes battle where the returns will be higher. The 2024 Maharashtra Assembly elections reached their finale today. While the voter turnout remained underwhelming, though it has crossed 61%, which for Maharashtra isn't quite bad. The day was marked by high drama and controversies, from allegations of booth capturing and vote suppression to heated clashes between party workers. Tensions ran high. Here's the full report.
The high-stakes Maharashtra Assembly elections witnessed intense drama, controversies, family feud, clashes throughout the day, as voters headed to the polling booths on Wednesday to decide the fate of 4,136 candidates in 288 constituencies. The day began with key political leaders casting their votes. Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar and Devendra Fadnavis were among the early voters.
इस उत्सव में सहभागी होना चाहिए, सभी ने वोट करना चाहिए, क्योंकि ये महाराष्ट्र को शक्तिशाली बनाएगा, देश की अर्थव्यवस्था को मजबूत बनाएगा. इसलिए आज का दिन बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है.
मतदान हा केवळ आपला हक्क नाही आहे, ते आपलं कर्तव्य देखील आहे, तो आपला अधिकार देखील आहे. आणि म्हणून माझ्या कुटुंबासकट मी आज मतदान केलेलं आहे आणि महाराष्ट्रातील तमाम बंधू भगिनींना, आमच्या लाडक्या बहिणींना, लाडक्या भावांना, सगळ्यांना माझी विनंती आहे, सर्वांनी मतदान करा.
NCP Chief Sharad Pawar and Supriya Sule also arrived early. While the voter turnout remained uninspiring, candidates traded charges over irregularities. NCP's debutant in Baramati, Yugendra Pawar's mother, Sharmila Pawar, accused Ajit Pawar's workers of booth capturing and distributing slips marked with the NCP clock symbol. Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar vehemently denied charges.
मुझे ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं लगता. हम इतने सालों से चुनाव लड़ रहे हैं, ऐसा बिल्कुल कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट जो रहता है उसके बावजूद हम बिल्कुल कुछ नहीं करते.
Inwardly, tensions escalated as MNS and Shiv Sena UVT workers clashed outside polling booths. In Dindoshi, Shiv Sena candidate Sanjay Nirupam alleged that Muslim men were blocking women from voting.
I went there, I reached there, and I asked the police to disperse them because, as for the this Achar Sanhita, I think, code of conduct rules, more than 4 people cannot assemble at one place. But they were hundreds of people, and they basically attacked one of my workers just to create some communal atmosphere.
This is the first assembly election since the splits in the Shiv Sena and NCP. With 6 major parties and many smaller ones in the fray, the ruling Mahayuti versus opposition Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi showdown has become a political thriller whose winner no one dares to predict. The suspense will remain till November 23rd, the day for counting votes. Bureau Report, India Today.
Well, this is the final lap, viewers, and come out and vote. Till now, what we're noticing. It's about 61%, which isn't bad for Maharashtra, but urban apathy continues, which is 30% where Mumbai is concerned. Let's cut across to my colleagues who are joining me this evening from Worli. We have Piyush Mishra from Nagpur, Rahul Gautam from Baramati, and we'll soon be joined by a reporter from Worli as well. Piyush Mishra joining us from Nagpur. Well, that is the high-profile seat of the Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. Fadnavis, where Nagpur Southwest is concerned. What's the latest that you're picking up? Nagpur is the center of Vidarbha, but a huge dichotomy. It's in that small urban pocket, which is largely a rural region. What are you picking up in terms of voter percentage?
Well, Preeti, the voter percentage has fortunately crossed the 40% mark. Remember that, since till 3 p.m. we saw only 35% coming out, 35% voters coming out and casting their vote, but now it has crossed the mark of 40%. Only still, we have 1 hour left. So by the end of voting, we can expect it to cross 50-55% mark. So like you rightly mentioned that, yes, Nagpur is one of the interesting seats here in the state of Maharashtra. There are 6 assembly seats in rural Maharashtra, and Devendra Fadnavis is one of the candidates from Nagpur itself. If you talk about the performance of BJP in 2019, out of 6 seats, BJP had bagged 4 seats and 2 had gone to the Congress party. In 2024 Lok Sabha elections, Vidarbha, in which Nagpur is there are 10 Lok Sabha seats, and Mahavikas Aghadi was able to win over 7 seats, and Mahayuti had won only 3 seats. So it remains to be seen how it pans out, how it turns out when the results are announced after 3 days from now. Voting is going to end by 6 p.m. and then we will see the results also to be announced by in 3 days from now. We'll have to see if BJP will be able to retain, because it is considered as a strong base, strong bastion of BJP. RSS headquarters are also situated here. We have seen massive campaigning also done by the leaders like Devendra Fadnavis, Nitin Gadkari. Also, RSS played its role. Around 3 lakh small meetings were conducted by RSS across Maharashtra. And here is the headquarters of RSS, and all the instructions were given to RSS workers from Nagpur itself. Right now, I am present at Vidhan Bhavan, and there's a very interesting story of this very place. Preeti, after the formation of government, the first winter assembly session takes place here at Nagpur itself.
Yes.
Let me also try to show you pictures of this very location. This is Vidhan Bhavan. After the government is formed, the first assembly session takes place here itself, and after 23rd of November, we will be able to know as to who is going to take entry from this entrance gate for the assembly session. It is now going to be very important to understand that this time there are 6 parties, 6 top parties are in fray. Last time there were only 4 parties, Congress, Shiv Sena, and then NCP and BJP, but this time 6 parties, 2 different factions of Shiv Sena and NCP. We'll have to see how people are going to deliver their judgment, and that will be decided only on 23rd of November, and after that we will see the government.
Well, you're right there. The first session will take place right behind where Piyush Mishra is standing, and what's very interesting, viewers, because you must have heard it too many times by now that there are 6 regions in Maharashtra, and it's practically 6 elections being fought where one state comes into question. Where Piyush Mishra is standing is the Vidarbha region. Nagpur is the nerve center of Vidarbha region, but like I pointed out, a huge dichotomy between the urban-rural belts in Vidarbha. And right now, as Piyush Mishra pointed out, voting percentage a little over 45% where Nagpur is concerned. And, right, the remotest corners of Vidarbha has actually recorded the highest voting percentage till now, which is over 60%. 61% is what Gadchiroli, the proverbial Naxal belt of Maharashtra, has recorded. We're going to continue to cut across that from one region, which is Vidarbha, which is technically known as the swing region in this election. Who takes Vidarbha, possibly, takes Maharashtra. Let's move on to the other region, Western Maharashtra. And joining me from Western Maharashtra, from, the high-profile seat of Baramati is my colleague Rahul Gautam, because, Rahul, that's the seat which is witnessing an epic face-off between the Pawars, an uncle and a nephew facing off, Ajit Pawar and Yogendra Pawar.
Well, interestingly, Pooja, it's a battle of nephew versus nephew. Sharad Pawar's nephew versus Ajit Pawar's nephew. And in fact, it's a battle of prestige as far as Ajit Pawar is concerned, because obviously this is the seventh time when he is seeking, as MLA from this constituency, and he is possibly taking on brand Sharad Pawar, because many believe that what had happened in Lok Sabha when Sharad Pawar faction, really put up very good show, getting out of 8 Lok Sabha seats. Ajit Pawar got only 1. Now, many believe that it's a matter of political survival and to remain relevant in Maharashtra politics, because there are 37 seats in Western Maharashtra. When it's NCP versus NCP, candidates fielded by Ajit Pawar versus candidates fielded by Sharad Pawar, and we all have seen that how Sharad Pawar has been going across all the Maharashtra, to all the constituencies, particularly of his own party, doing 4-5 rallies, trying to cover ground as much as possible. So because he knows that if he is going to succeed in this Vidhan Sabha or in assembly post, then it's going to decide the fate of NCP, and it's going to put these questions to rest as to who is actual NCP and with whom the actual NCP vote base is still intact with. Therefore, you can expect, and if you roam around here, if you go from one polling booth to another here in Baramati, at least in the urban areas, you'll find or you might feel that Ajit Pawar has an edge. But if you go to the rural areas, the picture is absolutely different. There are support bases or pockets of supporters of Sharad Pawar. So clearly, it's a battle which is very difficult to predict or to call, at least here in Western Maharashtra. But one thing is for sure, that this election is going to directly impact the bargaining power of Ajit Pawar in Mahayuti, and this is actually also going to seal the fate of Yogendra Pawar also as to whether he is going to go to assembly or it's going to be Ajit Pawar's way this time again in Baramati. I also spoke with the son of Ajit Pawar, Mr. Jai Ajit Pawar, and he said that people had pre-decided that they're going to vote for Supriya Sule in Lok Sabha, but in assembly they're going to support Ajit Pawar. So clearly, the voters are divided, support base is divided, and Ajit Pawar is leaving no stone unturned. He's been going to one polling booth to another, trying to garner as much as possible, because he knows if he loses Baramati, then it's going to severely affect his bargaining power in Mahayuti alliance.
Yeah, because this battle will decide who is the real Sahib when it comes down to the Pawar stronghold, especially where Baramati is concerned, and where Rahul Gautam is standing. Epic battle which is playing out there. 2024, you had Ajit Pawar's wife facing off with Supriya Sule. Supriya Sule emerged victorious. Will things change this time around? Because viewers, just to give you a small, a tidbit there, Yogendra Pawar's father used to manage the entire politics of Ajit Pawar, and how tables have turned in that family. And now Yogendra Pawar up against his uncle Ajit Pawar, who's up against his uncle Sharad Pawar. We're going to cut across to Ritwik Bhalekar right now. We are moving from region to region, viewers. You've gone from Vidarbha, where my colleague Piyush is reporting. You've come to Western Maharashtra, where we have our colleague Rahul Gautam. And now let's go down to those 36 seats of the Mumbai region. And that is where the slum issue is huge. Ritwik Bhalekar reporting from Worli, which is seeing another epic contest. If it is Pawar versus Pawar, where Baramati is concerned, Ritwik, it is Milam Deora versus Aditya Thackeray, and lots of others face-offs which are taking place in the Mumbai region. What's the latest? Mumbai, though, Ritwik, recording abysmal voter turnout, just above 30% till now.
Yes, absolutely. Looking at the pattern of Lok Sabha elections recently held, what we can say is that Mumbai can twist the whole scenario in this Maharashtra Assembly elections, because 36 total seats from Mumbai. Most of the seats in 2019 were won by Shiv Sena BJP alliance, that is 14 by Shiv Sena and nearly 16 by BJP. But now there are two Shiv Senas who are fighting against each other on more than 10 seats if you can, there are 11 to 13 seats where Shiv Sena versus Shiv Sena candidates are in fray, and also MNS Chief Raj Thackeray has fielded nearly 25 candidates in Mumbai. So vote division in Marathi Manus is of prime concern, and how these votes are being divided is going to decide the fate of which party will gain in 36th Assembly of Mumbai. Also, BJP, who was at a very good performance in 2019, is struggling to get the numbers back, because BJP was the single largest party out of the 36 seats in Mumbai. But now that in Lok Sabha Assembly we saw how MVA, especially UBT Sena, got an edge and BJP had to suffer, and they just managed to win only one seat of Piyush Goyal in the last Lok Sabha election. So this time we really need to see that if Shinde Sena faction votes are transferred to BJP, the way BJP's votes are being transferred to Shinde Sena. So how is it going to help whom is going to decide the fate not just of Mumbai but also in Maharashtra, because 36 seats are the major chunk of the total 288 seats, and also the upcoming BMC elections are it is speculated that it will be held at around February in the next year. But before that, we need to see that will Shiv Sena will hold its bastion of Mumbai, or Shinde Sena will dent into it, MNS will be a spoiler, and will BJP be able to retain its own strength?
So right there, Ritvik, because, we've been speaking of region versus region, 6 regions, 6 different elections. But viewers, when you look at direct contest, this election is also going to be a direct face-off and will decide the the fate of political parties, whether it is a Sena versus Sena contest, be it the Uddhav faction facing off with the Eknath Shinde faction. Will it be a Pawar versus Pawar contest, Ajit Pawar facing off with Sharad Pawar faction, and then of course the direct fights between the Congress and the Bharatiya Janata Party, 75 seats there. My colleague Mustafa Sheikh also joins us from Mumbai. And Mustafa, all eyes will be on the 36 seats of Mumbai as well, because a lot will depend on how the Uddhav Sena performs, and one of the key factors to look out for are voters voting on the same lines as 2024 elections, or will it be different this time? This will also define on who actually rules Mumbai. Is it Eknath Shinde or Uddhav Thackeray?
Well, that's true, Priti. For Shiv Sena as a party, the city of Mumbai is important, and hence the low voter percentage as of now, which it seems to be, is also of a concern. But as we were talking about the face-off earlier, like you have the NCP Ajit Pawar and NCP Sharad Pawar, you have Eknath Shinde Shiv Sena and Uddhav Thackeray Shiv Sena, but you also have two national parties, the BJP and Congress. And the BJP is fighting most of its chunk of seats in Vidarbha region, where it's a direct contest with the Congress. So all the surveys, the pre-poll surveys which we look at, it seems that the losing out of BJP and the gain of Congress seems to be defining, who will make a government in Maharashtra till this point. Obviously, the results, the actual results on 23rd can change a lot of things, but these are trends that the regional parties are fighting each other, but at the same time, the BJP, who is fighting about 130 seats, and the Congress, which is fighting about 90 seats, these seats amongst the face-off amongst the national parties would define what happens next in Maharashtra in terms of governance. But at the same point, Mumbai remains important because it's the oxygen mask of the Shiv Sena and the financial city. As Ritvik was saying earlier, that this voting patterns and trends and the winners of the assembly elections will be important, as in February next year, the BMC elections are due, and we know there's a big budget of the Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation, and every party wants that they should have their mayor in that chair. Back to you.
All right, appreciate you joining us, Mustafa, and our reporters. We're going to come back to them. It's the final hour when voting continues. Viewers, once again, if you haven't cast your vote right now and you're in Maharashtra, go out and vote, especially Mumbai, which is seeing a dismal voting percentage of 30%. Go out and cast your franchise, exercise it. Let's quickly move on, because a lot happened through the course of the last 24 hours, viewers. Charges flew thick and fast, allegations were one side of the political divide to the other, a fierce political battle. which is on. Many would suggest maybe a sense of desperation as well. But let's take you through the latest controversies that took place in the last 24 hours in itself. A Maha clash over cash for votes controversy, sparking high drama on the eve of the assembly polls. BJP General Secretary Vinod Tawade found himself at the center of allegations after workers of a regional party gherawed him at a hotel in Palghar, accusing him of distributing cash to sway voters. The BJP dismissed the accusations as baseless, with Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar and Devendra Fadnavis calling it a fabricated attempt by opposition forces to malign Tawade's reputation. Meanwhile, Sena UBT MP Sanjay Raut allegedly misuse of the Chief Minister's convoy to shield illicit money transfers. Tawade refuted the allegation, stating he was in Nalaspora to oversee election procedures, not to distribute cash. He accused regional party workers of creating chaos to tarnish his image. Even in midst of all of this, there are 2 FIRs that have been registered, one against Tawade and the other against the local BJP candidate.
ये तो डायरिया मिली है, हमने वो सब जब्त किया है, हमारे पास वीडियो फुटेज है कि पैसे बांट रहे थे।
तो इसलिए वीडियो फुटेज है ना पैसे बांटने का, तो वो क्षितिज और ये अपा जो है वो दे दे, उसमें रोक कौन रहा है? जो मुझे जानते हैं उनको पता है 40 साल में मैंने कभी 1 रुपए की राजनीति नहीं की है, इसलिए मुझे उसमें कोई शक नहीं है। मेरी डायरी तो ये इतनी डायरी होती है जेब में, बाकी तो मेरी डायरी होती ही नहीं है। इसमें तो चिल्लर रहेगी, बड़े नोट रहेंगे नहीं, इसलिए वो डायरी है, किसकी है, क्या है, सबकी छानबीन करो, मेरा कोई मानना नहीं है। लेकिन उसके बाद राहुल गांधी और सुप्रिया सुले मुझे 5 करोड़ देना चाहिए, क्योंकि उन्होंने कहा है और वहां नहीं मिला तो वो मुझे देना चाहिए।
देखिए, विनोद तावड़े जी हमारे राष्ट्रीय महामंत्री है, वो वहां पर केवल कार्यकर्ताओं को मिलने के लिए गए थे। न कोई पैसा उनके पास था, न कोई पैसा मिला है, न कोई पैसा बांटा गया है। एक प्रकार से प्लान करके हमला बोला गया। हमारे ही जो उम्मीदवार है राजन नाइक, उनको मारा पीटा गया, हमारे कार्यकर्ताओं को मारा पीटा गया और एक माहौल इस प्रकार से बनाया गया। मैं तो ये कहता हूं कि कल जो पराजय दिख रहा है, उस पराजय को कवर करने के लिए ये सारी बहानेबाजी चल रही है और इसमें कहीं पर भी विनोद तावड़े इनका कोई दोष नहीं है।
आप सब लोग जानते हैं कि उस क्षेत्र में किस प्रकार के उम्मीदवार हैं। ऐसे झूठे आरोप लगाना, ऐसे झूठे हरकतें करना कोई हमें आश्चर्य नहीं होता। विनोद तावड़े जी एक बहुत सीनियर लीडर है। कोई भी भारत की, मुंबई की जनता, महाराष्ट्र की जनता पर गलतफहमी होने का सवाल ही नहीं।
मुझे पता चला है, मैंने सुना है, इलेक्शन कमीशन ने वो जो भी कंप्लेंट है उसके बारे में उन्होंने उसकी नोंद ली है और वो इंक्वायरी कर रहे हैं कि सच क्या है। जब तक क्या सच है वे ये लोगों के सामने नहीं आता तो नुकसान होने का सवाल कहाँ आता है।
वहाँ पैसे उछाले जा रहे, कोई डायरी है उसमें कोई नंबर लिखा जा रहा है। ये बहुत दुख की बात है, क्योंकि विनोद तावड़े जी इस राज्य के नहीं देश के बड़े नेता रहे और ये बहुत मुझे दुख हुआ देख के कि बीजेपी जो पार्टी विद अ डिफरेंस, हमेशा बीजेपी कहती थी कि वी आर अ पार्टी विद अ डिफरेंस। सो डिफरेंस मतलब ये बहुत बहुत दुख की बात है और जिस तरह से ये हुआ है वो बहुत मुझे महाराष्ट्र को शोभा नहीं देता।
आपने देखा होगा कि कल भारतीय जनता पार्टी के राष्ट्रीय महासचिव विनोद तावड़े ये पैसे बांटते हुए पकड़े गए एक होटल में, जहां वो रुक नहीं सकते, जहां उनका 5 बजे के बाद उनको वहां रहने का कोई व्यवस्था नहीं रह सकते, जो चुनाव के जो नियम है उसका भी पालन उन्होंने नहीं किया। तो दारू और पैसा बांटकर ये नोट का जिहाद करना चाहते हैं क्या, वोट मांगने के लिए?
While allegations fly where the Mahavikas Aghadi is concerned over the cash for vote allegations, and smack in the middle of it is Mr. Vinod Tawade, General Secretary BJP. But Ritvik Balekar, who's joining us for more on this, you know, there's a lot that is going in behind the scenes as well. A lot of politicking in terms of political vendetta inside the BJP. Even the Bahujan Vikas Aghadi alleged that it was a tip-off by a senior leader. And one thing that has been discussed very openly, Ritvik Balekar, is that there is no love lost between Mr. Tawade and the Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Mr. Fadnavis.
Absolutely. After a high voltage drama yesterday witnessed in Nalasopara, Virar, there are talks in political circles of Maharashtra that who are the well-wishers of Hitendra Thakur and who has trapped Mr. Vinod Tawde, because Vinod Tawde, we all know that he was the very prominent leader in Maharashtra, but however in 2019 he was denied ticket, and then he was into his political oblivion, and then he had to get accommodated in Delhi, where he performed very well. He was in charge of Bihar elections. He also headed Haryana municipal elections, and then again he got into the upper rank of the party. He was appointed as the General Secretary, National General Secretary of the party. But when a day before yesterday, Rahul Gandhi addressed press conference on the last day of campaigning in Mumbai, it was Vinod Tawde who took the center stage, and he addressed a PC to counter Rahul Gandhi's allegations. So he was again being said that was taking away all the limelight in Maharashtra, and also there were talks in the circles of the political circles of Maharashtra that Devendra Fadnavis might not be repeated as the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. It might be some Maratha strongman face from BJP who will be given chance this time, and also the interest of Vinod Tawde was talk of the town. So somehow it has been expected that Vinod Tawde has been damaged, and he was been trapped due to the gang war, internal gang war of the BJP party, as alleged by Uddhav Thackeray. Also, Nana Patole said that, and even Sanjay Raut made a statement that there is some internal rivalry in the party for which Vinod Tawde has become a scapegoat.
Well, you know, it's fascinating where Maharashtra politics is concerned, and one would think when you speak of Mumbai, you speak of Maharashtra, you only think of when you speak of gang wars, it would be the underworld. Not quite there. Lots of allegations flying thick and fast. With that, like I said, allegations versus counter allegations. At one end, the BJP finds itself smack in the middle of a cash for vote scam. On the other hand, the BJP has made some very grave allegations against the Mahavikas Aghadi. Late on Tuesday night, it happened very late night yesterday, BJP presented 3 audio clips claiming that this was evidence that Nana Patole and Supriya Sule were involved in a Bitcoin scam. BJP accused Nana Patole and Supriya Sule of conspiring with a former police commissioner and a dealer to engage in illegal Bitcoin transactions using the money for the Maharashtra Assembly elections. Supriya Sule denied these allegations leveled by Sudhanshu Trivedi in a press conference and accused the BJP of resorting to cheap politics, stating that she was ready to debate the BJP Rajya Sabha MP anytime, and also sued for defamation. Sharad Pawar came in support of his daughter, saying he stated that these claims are baseless and therefore he doesn't want to comment on them. Nana Patole also dismissed claims, saying this is all diversionary tactics of the BJP to hide from what was an open cash for vote scam. Deputy CM Ajit Pawar, though, said he recognized the voice of Supriya Sule in the tape, stated it is indeed her voice and that a proper inquiry should take place.
देखिए 2018 में गेन बिटकॉइन फ्रॉड केस में अराउंड 40 एफआईआर हुए थे पूरे देश में। उसमें एक क्रिप्टो करेंसी हार्डवेयर वॉलेट जो अमित भारद्वाज से सीज किया गया था, वो वॉलेट गायब हुआ था। वो वॉलेट अमिताभ गुप्ता के इंस्ट्रक्शंस पे गौरव मेहता नाम के एक साइबर एक्सपर्ट ने गायब करवाया था, और उन्होंने 2 पॉलिटिशियन के नाम लिए हैं। एक है सुप्रिया सुले जो एनसीपी शरद पवार पार्टी के नेता है और एमपी है बारामती की। दूसरे है नाना पटोले जो कांग्रेस के प्रदेशाध्यक्ष है एट दिस मोमेंट। उसने गौरव मेहता को और 1-2 बार इंस्ट्रक्शन दिए, और उसे एक जगह उन्होंने ये भी कहा है आप इंक्वायरी की कोई चिंता मत करना, आप इंक्वायरी यदि होती है तो हम संभाल लेंगे, हमारी अब सरकार आती है।
सुप्रिया सुले की सबसे बड़ी ताकत मेरी ईमानदारी है, और आई एम विलिंग टू सिट विद मिस्टर त्रिवेदी एनीवेयर। वो जहाँ कहे, प्लेस ऑफ हिज टाइम उन्हें तय करे, जगह वो तय करे और शहर वो तय करे, कहीं भी बुला ले और प्लेटफॉर्म भी वही तय करे। आई विल कम वेरेवर ही सेज। लेकिन वो अजीत पवार है, रामकृष्ण आरी, कुछ भी कह सकते हैं।
एक तो मेरी परिवार की मेरी बहन है और दूसरे हमने जिनके साथ बहुत साल काम किया है, एक दूसरे के विरोध में भी किया है, एक दूसरे के साथ भी किया है, महाविकास आघाड़ी में भी किया है। वो बीच में बीजेपी के भी मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट थे। ऐसे सभी जगह उन्होंने काम किया, तो वो भी आवाज उनका ही, उनका बोलने का टोन, उनका आवाज दोनों का वही है। अभी इसके बारे में इंक्वायरी हो जाएगी। इंक्वायरी होने के बाद पता चलेगा कौन है, क्या है, इसके पीछे सच राज क्या है, वो पता चलेगा।
बीजेपी कौन सी लेवल पर जाती है, इसका एक उदाहरण है। जिसने आरोप किया था वो आदमी जेल में था कई महीनों से, और ऐसे लोगों को सामने लेकर झूठे इल्जाम लगाना, ये ओनली भारतीय जनता पार्टी कर सकती है।
जहाँ तक सुप्रिया सुळे जी पर और नाना पटोले जी पर जो आरोप लगे हैं, जिस प्रकार से एक पूर्व आईपीएस अधिकारी ने कुछ आरोप लगाए हैं, कुछ क्लिप्स उन्होंने जारी की है, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि ये बहुत गंभीर इस प्रकार का प्रकरण है। और मैं आज इतना ही कहूँगा, इस प्रकरण की सिरे से जांच होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि इस प्रकार के एलिगेशन लगने के बाद वास्तविकता क्या है ये दुनिया के सामने आना बहुत ज़रूरी है। एलिगेशंस बहुत सीरियस है, तो इसकी पूरी तफ्तीश हो, इसका पूरा इन्वेस्टिगेशन हो, और इन्वेस्टिगेशन करके एक फेयर रिपोर्ट लोगों के सामने आए।
मेरा मानना है कि जो बातें हमको प्राप्त हुई है वो ऑथेंटिक बातें हमारे सुधांशु जी ने बताई है।
अरे जी मुंह में डालो।
अब जो इंक्वायरी करनी है वो इंक्वायरी कर लेंगे, लेकिन जैसे सुप्रिया जी ने कल मेरे बारे में झूठा बोला कि 5 करोड़ थे, एक पैसा मिला नहीं, पहले मेरे 5 करोड़ सुप्रिया जी वापस करें।
रविंद्र पाटिल नाम का जो आईपीएस अधिकारी इन्हें लाया बीजेपी ने, वो आईपीएस है ही नहीं। जो बीजेपी तोतैया पार्टी है, जो खुद ही झूठ पार्टी हो गई, अब वो तो जुमले पार्टी हो गई है, वो पार्टी इस तरह से चुनाव के आइन शाम को, आज मतदान और कल शाम को इस तरह की हरकत करना, ओछेगिरी करना, और ये तोतिया आईपीएस अधिकारी को लाकर जिस तरह खुद वो जो तोतिया आईपीएस अधिकारी है वो खुद जेल में था।
इस ऑडियो में यह सिद्ध होता है कि सुप्रिया सुले जी के 4 ऐसे ऑडियो हैं। सुप्रिया सुले जी अमिताभ जी से भी बोल रही हैं और गौरव जी से बोल रही हैं कि गौरव डोंट प्ले गेम्स विथ मी। गौरव मेहता, मुझे पता है तुम्हारे पास बिटकॉइन है, तुम मेरे साथ गेम मत खेलो, तुम जल्दी दुबई जाओ और इसको एनकैश करके लेके आओ। दूसरे क्लिपिंग में स्पष्ट रूप से सुप्रिया सुले बोल रही है कि किसी प्रकार की चिंता का विषय नहीं है, कोई इंक्वायरी भी अगर हो जाएगा तो इंक्वायरी में आपका नाम नहीं आने वाला है, और इंक्वायरी को हम देख लेंगे, हमारी सरकार बनेगी तो हम देख लेंगे। आज सुप्रिया सुले कह रही है कि ये तो एआई जनरेटेड है, मेरी आवाज नहीं है, जबकि उनके खुद के भाई बोल रहे हैं कि ये उन्हीं की आवाज है, ये उन्हीं की आवाज है, और ये हम सब सुन सकते हैं और जान सकते हैं कि ये उन्हीं की आवाज है।
मुझे इस बारे में ज्यादा मालूमात नहीं है। मैं तो
वोट के बाद फोटो चाहिए सर।
All right, on your television screen, Shah Rukh Khan, his wife Gauri Khan, and his 2 children who are eligible to vote, all 4 of them coming in to cast their ballot at the station. They're exercising their franchise a little late in the day, but we've seen a star-spangled Mumbai in terms of those who've gone ahead and voted. Right now, Shah Rukh Khan coming in. Just about half hour ago, you've seen Salman Khan, who has voted. You saw Akshay Kumar was one of the first few stars to come out and vote where Bollywood is concerned. Farhan Akhtar came out and voted this morning. You had Alia Kapoor, Alia Bhatt, you had Ranbir Kapoor, all of them coming out and voting. And Shah Rukh Khan, in the last 1 hour before polling ends, the entire Khandan coming out and casting their vote. Let's cut across to my colleague Ritvik Balekar, who's on location right now. Ritvik, over to you. All right. As we connect to Ritwik, these visuals coming in of all the stars that have voted through the course of the day. Kareena Kapoor, you can see her there. She voted this afternoon. Right in the morning was Akshay Kumar, Sachin Tendulkar, Farhan Akhtar, Saif Ali Khan accompanying his wife there. And Ritwik Bhalekar is back with us. Ritwik, you know, while most of the stars and celebrities came in the morning, the last 1 hour left for voting, and you see Shah Rukh Khan with his entire family coming in to cast his vote.
Yes, absolutely. So most of the celebrities and Bollywood stars are exercising their right of voting, and we can see that even though there's Mumbai is showing a dismal performance in voting pattern as compared to the recent Lok Sabha elections held, many celebrities are making it a point that they are coming out for vote and they are getting clicked, they are getting inked, and they are also trying to appeal and ask people to come out to vote, especially Mumbaikars who does not look too keen, because it's just not even crossed 40% of the voting turnout, and it's just a few hours left. I mean, only half an hour left from now, but it was expected, because as compared to Lok Sabha elections, we could see how Election Commission had made a very good arrangements this time. They had provided good facilities for the voters this time after several complaints in recent Lok Sabha elections held. But still, we could see that Mumbaikars have not voted the way they should have.
Well, Mumbaikars haven't voted the way they should have. It's more subdued than even the 2024, voting turnout, and that's really not a good thing. Last half hour, Mumbai, if you're listening to us, please go out and vote for democracy. Last half hour, chosen by the entire Khan Khandan. You have Shah Rukh Khan there with his wife and his 2 children, and coming out to vote in the last dying hour of polling there. While all other celebrities, we saw them vote through the course of the day, but Mumbai has seen, like I said, a very subdued, or a rather abysmal voter turnout, even compared to 2024 Lok Sabha. Meanwhile, Maharashtra is voting across the numbers that are coming in, not as promising as they should be, but where celebrities are concerned, this is what Mumbai looked like. From Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, Kareena Kapoor, Arjun Kapoor, Ranbir Kapoor, Ananya Pandey, Rohit Shetty, we had Sunil Shetty, Shraddha Kapoor, Madhuri Dixit, Sachin Tendulkar. It was a star-spangled sky when it came down to celebrity turnout coming out to vote this election. And right in the end, the superstar walks in, Shah Rukh Khan with his family. It's just the last half hour which is left for polling where Mumbai is concerned.
Maharashtra election day saw superstar turnout in Mumbai. From the young guns to Bollywood veterans, they all turned up to cast their ballot. One of the first celebrities to vote was Akshay Kumar.
आज यही है कि सब लोग आए वोट करें. That is the most important.
Ranbir Kapoor and Kartik Aaryan also exercised their franchise. Both were dressed in classic white.
फर्ज है to come and vote. So please vote, and if you haven't, it's open till, especially the Pali place is open till 8 p.m. So please come and cast your vote.
Ritesh Deshmukh, whose brothers Amit and Dheeraj are contesting for the Maha Vikas Aghadi, struck a confident note. He was accompanied by his wife and actor Genelia.
जो भी मतदार है वो पहली बार मतदान करने वाले, मैं उनसे गुजारिश करता हूं कि वो भारी संख्या में, भारी मात्रा में बाहर आकर वोट करें. अपना जो हक है वो आज निभाएं, अपने राज्य के लिए अर्पण करें.
आज का दिन जो है वो वोटिंग के हिसाब से है, तो जो गरीब है, जो भी है, यंग ओल्ड जो भी है, वोट करना जरूर है.
Rajkumar Rao was also among the early voters who cast his vote at the Gyan Kendra Secondary School polling booth in Mumbai. Sibling duo Farhan Akhtar and Zoya Akhtar flaunted their inked fingers, encouraging others to step out and vote.
You are privileged to be able to vote. You should get out and take it. And if you don't do it, then don't complain.
Veteran writer Gulzar was accompanied by his filmmaker daughter Meghna.
आम आदमी हमारा वो सब जानता है, सब पहचानता है, अपनी ज़रूरत समझता है और मुझे उम्मीद है कि वो इस बहकावे में नहीं आएगा और उसी को वोट करेगा जो उसका अपना इशू है।
Sunil Shetty and John Abraham looked dapper as they participated in the Festival of Democracy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Actor Sonu Sood appealed to citizens, asking them to come and vote and not treat Election Day as a holiday.
Thank you so much. कई साल शिकायत करते रहते हैं हमारे देश में ये नहीं वो नहीं, तो आई थिंक ये जो हक आपको दिया गया है एज एन इंडिविजुअल इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू वोट.
BJP MP and actor Hema Malini was accompanied by her daughter Isha. Actor and BJP leader Paresh Rawal also cast his vote. Ali Fazal, Govinda, Ravina Tandon, Tushar Kapoor were also spotted queuing up at the polling booths. Entertainment Bureau, India Today.
Once again, if you're in Mumbai, it's registering what it does. Practically every election, apathy when it comes down to voting, urban apathy at its best and saddest. If you are there, it's the last final half hour. Go out and cast your vote. Earn your right to crib, get your finger ringed. All right, viewers, while there is Maharashtra elections, second phase of Jharkhand, there are also important bypolls, especially in the state of Uttar Pradesh, and the bypoll war in UP has escalated. Akhilesh Yadav claims voters intimidated with revolvers. Mirapur DM counters Akhilesh Yadav. Clash has erupted between two groups is what the DM says. Cops tried to contain situation. However, Akhilesh Yadav has claimed that voters of Mirapur are not being allowed to go out and cast their vote. My colleague Samarth Srivastava joins us live. These visuals also streaming in, where you can see women holding out their voter IDs and wanting to go and vote. And you have a cop who is raising a rifle, raising a pistol at them. And this is what Akhilesh Yadav has quote tweeted and put out on the social media platform X, this particular visual, and said that intimidation is taking place. Samarth, the DM is countering Akhilesh Yadav. What's the latest?
Well, exactly, Preeti. It's not the first time if you see the Samajwadi Party ex-handle or Akhilesh Yadav's ex-handle. From today morning, there are series of, in a way, exposed blaming the administration and the police. Also, Election Commission has taken action over those particular exposed and suspended 5 UP cops in those 9 assembly seats where UP by-election happened today. But currently, the recent one is from the Mirapur, where it's RLD versus the Samajwadi Party, and Akhilesh has shared a video on X which clearly, and also he has written that an inspector, SHO station house officer, is using his gun to press the voters in a way not to allow them to move outside their houses and cast their votes. That has been the blame coming from Samajwadi Party chief. Also, he held a press conference in Lucknow where he, in a way, also thanked the Election Commission for taking action in some locations where Samajwadi Party complained. Though it's not just one-sided game. Also, if you talk about Sisa Mau Kanpur, BJP's leaders, especially the candidate Suresh Awasthi, sat on dharna around the polling station and blamed the Samajwadi Party and administration as well. They had a heated verbal exchange with the police officers, ACP of Kanpur, that they are not checking the voter ID cards and allowing 2 to 3 persons in a go to cast their votes. That has been the blame from the BJP. UP BJP chief Bhupendra Chaudhary, in reply to Akhilesh Yadav, also held another press conference in Lucknow. So the blame game is on not just from Samajwadi Party but also from the BJP. It's going to be worth seeing because the total percentage of vote, if you talk about Kanpur, is around 50%. And Mirapur, Kanpur are two bypoll seats where most cases have been reported, or what we say, more blames from Samajwadi Party have come so far. If you talk about the ex-Twitter ex-handle of Samajwadi Party and Akhilesh Yadav, though the DM has also replied and clearly said there's no such thing happened and fair elections happened in Mirapur, but it's going to be worth seeing whether Election Commission would take any further action, just like it took against the 5 UP cops, 2 from Kanpur and 1 from Mirapur and 2 from some other bypoll seat. Back to you, Preeti.
All right, where the Mirapur constituency is concerned, it comes in the Muzaffarnagar Lok Sabha seat, and from it is the ally of the Bharatiya Janata Party, the RLD candidate who is standing. With that, Samarth, we're going to come back to you for more updates on that story. Let's quickly shift focus, where as 9 assembly seats in UP voted in by-polls today, the BJP urged the Election Commission to properly check the identity voter-clad women in burqas. The BJP said that there have been past cases of veiled women attempting to cast vote multiple times, stating that an adequate number of women cops must be deployed at polling stations to ensure proper checks. Meanwhile, the Samajwadi Party flagged cases of cops checking voter ID cards. SP Chief Akhilesh Yadav shared a video of 2 cops asking for voter identity and sought the Election Commissioner's intervention. Later, these cops were suspended by the EC. The EC has responded to allegations of unfair polls. The UP Chief Electoral Officer said that checking is allowed where complaints are filed. Burqa-clad women can be checked before casting vote. They also mentioned that they are taking action to ensure fair polls.
ये चुनाव के समय हर बार होता है, ये बीजेपी की रणनीति है और बीजेपी इसी तरह का काम करती है। हमें उम्मीद है चुनाव आयोग और संविधान और लोकतंत्र जो हमें व्यवस्था देता है उसके तहत वोट पड़ेगी।
आइडेंटिटी चेक करने का काम अंदर जो पोलिंग स्टाफ बैठा है, पोलिंग ऑफिसर 1, मतदान अधिकारी प्रथम का दायित्व है कि जो भी कोई वोट डालने आए उसका चेहरा देखे, उसका आइडेंटिटी कार्ड और वोटर लिस्ट भी हमारे पास नाम और फेस मिला के अगर सुनिश्चित हो जाती है पहचान, तभी आगे की कार्रवाई करें। सभी शिकायतों की जांच कराई और जांच के बाद हमने 5 जगह 5 हमारे सब इंस्पेक्टर कांस्टेबल लेवल के ऑफिसर सस्पेंड हुए हैं और 5 बजे तक भी अगर कोई लाइन में आ जाता है तो उसका राइट है, ऐसा नहीं उसको हम भगा देंगे। उसको फिर एक आप वोटर स्लिप्स दी जाती है, लास्ट से शुरू करते हैं, लास्ट को नंबर 1 से शुरू करके आता है और हर आदमी को दिया जाता है।
अखिलेश यादव जी ने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस की, उसके बाद बीजेपी के प्रदेश अध्यक्ष ने भी एक प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस की और उन्होंने कहा है कि समाजवादी पार्टी के लोग फर्जी वोटिंग करा रहे हैं, बुरके में जबरन वोटिंग करा रहे हैं, इस तरह के आरोप लेकर के आए।
सरकार इनका, प्रशासन इनका, सब कुछ इनका, उसके बावजूद भी ये लोग समाजवादी पार्टी पे जो आरोप लगा रहे हैं, मैं समझती हूँ कि अब जनता भी ये समझ रही है कि ये लोग सबको मूर्ख बनाने वाली बातें कर रहे हैं और कहीं ना कहीं हमारा पूरा पीढ़ी परिवार आज तैयार है भारतीय जनता पार्टी को उत्तर प्रदेश से हटाने के लिए।
कैसे मारा जा रहा है वोटर्स को? आप डराओगे, वोटर्स को डराएंगे, उनका मताधिकार छीनना चाहते हैं, ये हो रहा है।
क्या वोटर्स आपसे कह रहे हैं?
देख लीजिए आप खुद, हम तो चाह रहे हैं, प्लीज आप उनसे भी उनकी बात पूछिए। और ये भी है, अपना नेम स्लिप हटा के मार रहे हैं।
ये बुर्का नसीन जो महिलाएं हैं, ये फर्जी वोटिंग का सबसे बड़ा माध्यम है और आयोग ने भी कहा है कि उनका चेहरा देखा जाएगा। जब हिंदू महिलाओं का चेहरा देख के उनका मिलान किया जाता है, जो एक मतदान की प्रक्रिया है, तो उनको कोई अलग से थोड़े ना है वो कि उनका वो चेहरा नहीं देखा जाएगा। अब समाजवादी पार्टी को इस नाम पे आपत्ति इसलिए है क्योंकि फर्जी वोट उनको मिलता है उस नाम पे। भाई सबको चेहरा, एक आइडेंटिटी कंफर्म हो कि यहाँ फला व्यक्ति ही है तभी मतदान करेगा।